What is going on, guys? Craig 1287 here. I'm bringing you yet another VR gameplay, this time taking a look at a game called Holopoint. I gave you a little snippet there at the beginning of the video that gives you just a little preview of how intense this game can get just within about 10 minutes into starting it. That was a wave, somewhere around like wave 12 or 13, and there's I think around 100 waves or whatever. So I've barely just, I've just barely seen any of what this game has to offer. Apparently the level, the location changes, and you face even more enemy types. But obviously what you've seen here is that Holopoint, despite its name, Holopoint, you would think that refers to Holopoint bullets. It doesn't. What caught my eye was that the game has such a high Steam review from the Steam user base, and so I think it had like a 96%, still probably does have a 96% at the time, and so that just caught my eye. And then I saw it was an archery game, and I was like, oh, well, it seems weird that another archery game would have such high reviews, but I mean, if it's got this many reviews and they all are consistently this high, there might be something to it. And then I saw that the game was only $8, at which point I was like, alright, that's chump change. Even if this game is just bad, I don't feel like I'm missing out on much. $8 is not that much. So picked this thing up, and it's by a group developer, self-published by a group called Alzen. I'm probably screwing that up. Alzen Studios LLC. And never really heard anything from these guys. Had no reason to think that they would have this crazy cool content. But yeah, like I said, it was only $8, so I checked it out. And what you're seeing here now, well, this is my very first attempt at the game. You see there is already a high score. Well, that's because I let my brother try this game out. My brother's big into archery, shooting actual archery, and so I let him try this out. And he said that it was kind of a workout, and that his thighs were kind of hurting him afterwards. And yeah, I thought, oh, okay, well, maybe you're just out of shape. Not really. I don't think my brother is out of shape. And after playing this, I definitely don't think so, because I mean it is a workout. You guys you've already seen some of the footage here. I'm ducking and whatnot, and you see there on the back, I used a technique, a little trick or whatever you want to call it, but I've got one of those little clothes hooker thing. Not really sure what they're called, but paper pin clamp kind of thing, and I'm using that to run my Vive and my headset cords through it, and then I clip it on one of my belt loops, so that keeps my cords from getting loose from each other, and it kind of keeps them at my back the whole time. But you still see there my headset one every now and then still comes up, and it gets caught on my left shoulder, which is a little unfortunate. But and in this game, you see me bobbing down a lot. The dodging is what truly gets you. Like, the accuracy isn't all that difficult. Like, the way they handle the aiming in this is really nice. It's very consistent. It's very predictable. If you miss your shot, you don't think it's not because the game was programmed bad and the hardware is bad. It's not. You know when after you release if you're going to be making a bad shot. And very rarely, if ever, do I miss shooting at something twice. I typically have the information from my first shot as to why I missed it, and I can compensate and make the corrections to get that second shot. There are a few times where I do screw up with notching my arrow onto my bowstring, but that doesn't happen too much. It happens a little late on, only because of how fatigued I am, how exhausted my entire body is. My thighs, but eventually my left arm, my left hand, my left arm, from holding the bow out. Obviously I'm not holding a bow, but just if you guys, I mean, even if you're physically fit, just try holding something out for an extended amount of time. Even something that's not all that heavy, just anything that has some weight to it, 5 pounds, something like that, 3 to 5 pounds, and just try holding it out for an extended amount of time, and your arm will just get exhausted. And that's kind of what happens here. Luckily, they do have a checkpoint system. Every 5 waves that you go, you can still start at the beginning if you want, or you can start at those 5 wave checkpoints. So that way, the next time I revisit this, after I've rested, and my thighs are not killing me, and my arm is not killing me, I can just hop in, and I eventually get to wave, I think, 13 on my second attempt, which you'll see in this video. And so that gives me my 10 wave checkpoint, and so I can actually start at that point. So that's really, really nice, because I do really want to see the content that is in this. Apparently right now the beta version of the game, that you can opt into the beta version, has some new locations, and there's like birds or something, new enemy types. The approach that the enemies come at you is very different and distinct from the other ones, which really keeps you on your toes. Just this aspect of 360-degree fighting is really, really cool. Sound design in this is incredibly important. You can hear the music in this game has got some awesome, just kick and sweet trance music that just really keep you upbeat and whatnot. And it really makes it a fast-paced kind of game and adds to that. But hearing these cubes, you see they start turning orange. Here's I lost my first attempt, but now we go into my second attempt, which is better. And but yeah, you see the cubes turn orange, and eventually I think that means that they are reduced point values. I really don't know a lot of the mechanics of the game yet. I'm still getting used to like point values and stuff. But I think that they start to become worth less points, but eventually they will just disappear themselves. They'll blow themselves up. And sometimes when you shoot them, and sometimes when they blow themselves up, yeah, they shoot that shot at you. And so hearing that sound of when they start to turn orange is really, really key, so that you know where to turn, and you know what. And you'll see there's a lot in this one, in this second attempt that I have. There's a lot of times where I duck even when I haven't even triggered one, because I hear that sound and I know that there's a chance, it's not always a 100% chance, but when these things are destroyed, whether I destroy them or they destroy themselves over time, that they shoot that shot back at you, and so I know that I need to dodge. So when I just hear that sound of them breaking, and I don't see one, I know that I just need to duck. And so you'll actually see that if you pay just really close attention to this. And I'm interested to see how the other enemies handle with the sound design and such. Now, another thing that I realized during my second playthrough, other than the sound helping me out, I realized that these are actual like holographs that are being projected by the pillars, the columns in this room. You see they've got the little sensors. You can actually see the light that each one of them is shooting out, and even when I destroy one of these cubes, you see the hologram lines coming out from the columns, from the that they move across the screen. Like here right now, when you're looking at it where it says Wave 4, like you can see all the different holograms. At first I thought, oh, that's a really cool effect. It actually is like a simulated and then I realized, wait, I can use that to help me predict where the next cube is going to be. Some of the hologram lines start coming on where a cube is going to be placed after I destroy one, and so that really helps me to identify where these things are. So I'm actually going to be able to use that to my advantage. Like, that was just really cool. Like, that's something. There's no tips that say that. You know, there's not anything that says use sound to predict where things are going to be. Use the holograms projection, the actual camera projections or whatever you would call them, to identify where in the room that these are going to be. It's just really cool. I'm guessing the developer meant to that, or maybe that was something that they just did and realized, like, oh, hey, that's cool. That's something that people could maybe use, and hopefully maybe they figure this out. So, I mean, just it's not been like the obvious content. I haven't seen a lot of it, but it's not some huge story-driven thing like Fallout or even something like The Gallery, an actual VR game. There's not a huge amount of story in there, and I'm stuck in this one room. You know, it's a stand your ground kind of shooter where I'm not really moving around a lot. So there's not a full world to investigate and a story and characters to get involved in and whatnot. but there's still just this game like physically impacted me more than any game. The only one that would have come close would have been Hover Junkers, and that one because I'm like, you know, laying down flat to go prone and to shoot from underneath my cover and things like that. But I was not as physically exhausted and fatigued as I was after playing that as I was with this Holopoint game. Like, I'll try to end this a little soon so I can just cut fully over into the audio, and you can hear at the end of this how exhausted I am. And I even take my headset off. I don't edit this out. I'll let you guys see the you can see the little mask effect on my face. Like I was pouring sweat after this. Wearing jeans, long jeans, probably not my wisest decision, but I did not. Again, this is only my first and second playthrough of this. I had no clue that it was really gonna, and you can see my clip right now has even come off. I just got so physically exhausted and sweaty. I was dripping sweat from my forehead, from my arms. My legs were sweaty. I rarely sweat at my legs. Like, that is not something that is common. I also just typically don't sweat, but just this game just had me so exhausted. And so yeah, highly encourage you wear shorts or your boxers or something like that when doing this, because you just will get super duper warm. My arm, my bow holding arm, my left arm, you'll notice here that I start to try to rest it on my chest or my stomach because I get so exhausted, and that starts really affecting my aim because I can't pull the bow back as much, but also I can't aim it as well. Holding it up to your face is really how you will identify where your arrow is going to be going. What else? I mean, there's just so many things that I could say. You'll notice how much my my right hand that holds the actual arrow really starts to shake, noticeably shaking, and that's simply because of how exhausted and fatigued my body was. I also felt very dehydrated after playing this. I had to go eat a whole lot of cantaloupe and drink some water and whatnot to cool myself down and rehydrate myself. Another thing that's really cool for depth, I guess you could say, is when the shots are shot at you, either from you destroying the cubes or from them breaking themselves down, turning orange and exploding, is that shot that comes at you, you actually can shoot that. I don't know if you get points for it or not, but if you just don't want to have to dodge, you can actually shoot those, and you'll notice I do that a few times. I don't know if I've done it yet, but I know very much so that I have done it in this second playthrough at least a couple times. So pay attention to that. I might do one here. No, I think I go into dodging. But it's just a really cool, very tense gameplay design that you can shoot those shots that are coming at you. When these cubes spawn so close to you, those are the real intense ones. Oh, right there, if you need to rewind. That one I did, and here I finally get to wave 10, so this is where I get my checkpoint. But that shot that I had just made, I did shoot the one that, and now, at wave 10, these guys start coming at me, and so that changes things up. Now you've really got to listen to the sound of these guys approaching you. You don't have to worry about dodging anymore. This is kind of nice. It actually gave my legs somewhat of a chance to rest, but and eventually it starts mixing it up, and you start fighting these guys and the cubes. So you've got to worry about them approaching you. You've got to worry about the cubes as they shoot things at you. And again, this is just wave 10. This is just the second set of enemy types that you're seeing. I just love this game. Like, again, the gameplay depth, there's not too much, or at least from what I've seen so far, going on, but what is here is just so well done. It's so polished, it's so intense. This game is a heck of a workout. If you're wanting to burn some calories, burn some fat, build some muscle in your legs and in your arm, I'm actually really tempted to go and get some wrist weights, like some, I don't know, like 10-pound wrist weights, and wear them while doing VR now, and see how much my arm strength improves. See right there, I totally missed, and then I actually pull off a really cool shot. But that's just, that right there, that shot, I had to do that because I could not lift my left arm, and that's why it shot so high. So yeah, I guess I'm just going to go ahead and cut over into the in-game audio. I am super hyped about this game, guys. If you have a Vive, get this. Holopoint, again, it's only $8. You've got to try this game out, though. It's just super fantastic, and it is a freaking awesome workout. So pick this up if you haven't already. Hope you guys do enjoy the rest of the gameplay and enjoyed the commentary so far. Hope you guys enjoy all of it. Have a good one. Ta-ta.
Oh, man. That is... Holy crap.